Welcome to the Whiskey Explorer. Thanks so much for tuning in for another episode, guys. And if this is your first time on the channel, if you could please do us a quick favor, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment down below, let us know if you've tried this bourbon, and we'll get the conversation continued at the Whiskey Explorer. And tonight, guys, we've got an exciting and fun review for you. We have got the Knob Creek 12-year-old. Alright guys, so this is the Knob Creek 12-year-old small batch from Jim Beam. So this is, of course, in their Knob Creek line. This actually is a regular release in the States, so this will come out on a regular basis in the US. But unfortunately here in Canada, we just get it sort of on a spirit release basis. So this actually came out at the November 2022 spirit release. Unfortunately for us, the price point is a bit high. So this bottle is $130 plus the 15% tax at the BC liquor store. Whereas in the States, you're going to be able to readily find this bottle for about $60 US. So it's quite the price jump. So I didn't actually jump on it this time around. So this is actually a bottle loan from a good friend of the channel and a good whiskey buddy, Zach. So shout out to Zach. Thank you so much for letting me borrow the bottle for review. Alright, so this rather handsome looking bottle, I really do like that blue and gold motif they've got going on for the 12-year, is bottled at 50% ABV or 100 proof. So that's the same proof point as the small batch. The difference here being that the small batch, the regular Knob Creek small batch, is 9 years old. This is aged an additional 3 years to a 12-year age statement. So that's fantastic to get some of that older beam juice from a very reputable and also one of the legacy distilleries. All right, so let's get into the whiskey here, guys, without further ado. All right, so looking at the color in the glass here, it's very much like a medium kind of copper tone to the whiskey there. Yeah, so medium copper, medium to dark, I would say. So definitely a nice inviting color in the glass. And already as I was kind of bringing this over to kind of show you guys the color of the whiskey, I already started to get that nice, delicious Jim Beam goodness. Already started to pick up lots of kind of deep, dark cherry notes mixed in with vanilla. So let's go in for a full and proper nosing on this one. Cheers. Yep, so on the nose, what really presents and is kind of forward on the nose here is that beautiful, deep, dark cherry note mixed in with vanilla. It's almost like a creamy vanilla cherry Coke type essence to this one. Very, very nice nose. Very sweet on the nose, I would say. So definitely more on the sweet side, whereas at 12 years old, I would kind of expected a little bit more woodiness, a little bit more oakiness in the nose, but not picking that up so much, primarily picking up brown sugar, caramel, butterscotch, also some of the deep dark cherry and vanilla in there as well. Let's go in for another nose here, guys. Cheers. Oh, there we go. Okay, so this is even opening up in the glass, and it has been sitting for about 10 minutes, so we're almost at that 1 year per minute of kind of letting it air out. So we're kind of right in that sweet zone right now, and I'm already just picking up more of that oak note. There's like a sweet oak in the middle of the nose here, as well as a ton of that Jim Beam nuttiness. And so, like, for me, the Jim Beam nuttiness is not like a salted peanut, although I do love salted peanuts, but this is more of like a slightly bitter nutty note. So I would think almost like walnut or hazelnut, or maybe even a combination of those two. So I'm definitely getting a ton of that signature Jim Beam nuttiness on the nose as well. Yeah, almost a funky nuttiness there. Like, mixed in, maybe that nuttiness is also mixed in with like a little bit of a musty, dusty kind of old leather-bound book type of note there as well. Yeah, maybe that's it, getting a little bit of tobacco almost coming through, pipe tobacco on the nose there as well. All right, guys, let's go in for a sip here. Cheers. Wow. So That is fantastic on the palate. The first thing that you get hit with is that sweet, deep, dark cherry note. Very desserty. Kind of reminds me of like, cherry, like deep, ripe kind of cherries that are like mixed in with like some cream or ice cream. So nice vanilla kind of sweetness joining in there. Almost like I had mentioned, like a vanilla cherry Coke. Think of that kind of type of aspect. Now in the middle of the palate, it transitions to a little bit more of a medicinal cherry note with some of those wood notes mixing in. So there is definitely a very woody presence here in the middle of the palate. So definitely strong oak flavors. I would say it opened up with some sweet flavors to start, and now as it kind of sits on the palate there, it's kind of transitioning more towards a little bit more of a bitter or an astringent oak. And then on the finish, you get more of that vanilla and cherry sweetness coming back into play. Really nice finish there. Little tiny bit of peppery spice on the back end. So maybe like more of a sweet spice like cinnamon. Maybe a little bit of nutmeg and clove. So some of those nice baking spices coming into play on the finish. There is a little bit of a mouth coating that happens here too. So at 12 years old and 50%, it does actually coat the palate pretty well. And so you do actually get, I would say, a medium to long finish on this. All right, let's go in for a second sip. Cheers, guys. Yeah, so I would say there's a real mouth coating experience here. Almost like a thick, creamy mouthfeel. Definitely leads in with kind of a mixture this time on that second sip of the sweet oak, kind of also vanilla, kind of enveloping and wrapping around the dram, and that deep dark cherry note front and center. That's kind of like a through line through the whole dram. And what I like about this one is that cherry note that you come to love in bourbon, that sticks with it throughout the entire dram right into the finish. So very nice finish here. Again, that finish is coming back with that vanilla, the vanilla cream and the cherry. Very nice finish. This is an excellent whiskey. I'm really enjoying this. If it wasn't for the price point, I would totally be a buyer. Like, I think I'd be a player up to $100 Canadian, even plus the taxes. But 130, you're just kind of creeping into some very good whiskeys at that price point. So it's a bit of a tough proposition, I would say. But thank you guys so much for joining me for this review. That's going to do it for this one. Until next time, may your sails be full and your drowns be fuller. Cheers.